Hello everyone, this is Redact, and this game is called Suzerain. Last episode we upset our wife by not allowing her to do a speech on women's rights. So we're in the doghouse a little bit at the moment. We will do something about that when the opportunity comes along. We also, I think, last episode we declined the workers' right. We vetoed that bill because it was going to cost us money. We don't have money. We spent it all on the army and the interior, the police and the judiciary and all the rest of it. So let's see what we have to do this time. Okay, so we have exclamation mark here, discussion on changes to the tax system, right? Okay. Do need to do that. Okay, so let's read the news. If anything comes up there. Explosion in Dyer. 18 killed, 22 wounded. BFF claim responsibility for the attack. So militants from the Bluish Freedom Front also fired at officers they tried to escape the fires of the explosion in the treacherously pre-planned attack. Attack came after the declaration of state of emergency and the arrest of spokespersons of the Workers' Party of Blue Deer. The first such attack of this proportion since the period of peace. Been a wave of unrest in Sordland over the past couple of months. Attacks seem to suggest racial tensions in Bergia used to very dangerous levels, which might make the attacks from BFF more likely. Arcasia has called on both sides to avoid violence, but stressed that Sordland has the right to defend itself against attacks. Well, you stop meddling in my affairs. Okay? Economists. Recession is growing faster. With double-digit unemployment and plunging economic output, the recession has been a reality for a long time. If there was any doubt that Sordland is in a recession, it's now been removed, following an announcement by the Business Council. In the announcement, the Council pointed to the unprecedented magnitude of the decline in employment and production and its broad reach across the entire Swordish economy. The economy shrank by 2.4%. Okay, well, once we have the rail line, that should help, hopefully. Right, geopolitical, what's going on? Slovak condemns Arcasian soldiers in Lesbia. Criticised the Lesbian government for bringing Arcasian soldiers close to the borders of Welen. Right. Where's Lesbia? Okay. Right, so there's stuff going on down south too. Right, so they've agreed on military bases in Lesbia they would station, so we don't really want to ally with Lesbia. We're not going to. We're going to ally with the guys in the northeast, whoever they are. Can't remember. When Walker succeeded in spreading Arcasian imperialism in eastern Merk-Opa. Consequences for every one of us in the region. Councillor Hengel condemns military build-up in Lesbia. Press conference, Councillor Hengel of Vargsland condemned Arcasia for building a military base. Arcasia's action on Ravnos Island is a provocative move that is undermining the peace and stability in the region, also threatening Vagskal's national security. However, Vargsland is not a country to be buddied so easily. We and the entire CSP coalition will respond in force. The radicals have to say, pro-Rain Purge. Thousands of state employees were dismissed under the emergency decree for alleged links to terrorist groups. So far under the decree, 12,662 people, including nearly 1,000 officers and hundreds of teachers and academics, were sacked. The opposition leader, Mr. Richter, said Sordland was now entering a dangerous period of fascist rule. Pro-Rain Purge. It's a weird title. So people that are pro-me have been purged? Is that what it's saying? Don't know. Confusing. But as long as they're my enemies, it's fine. Right, so we need to do something about the economic situation. So let's do this over here. We're at the top floor of the Business Council building, which had a great view of beautiful Latchavan. I also looked outside from the tall glass windows. The Marking Sea stretched as far as the eye could see. It was dotted with many ships towards the horizon. There were mostly cargo ships carrying precious goods in and out of Sordland. Tracing back the past of the ships, I looked at the harbour. Lerchavin was home to one of the largest harbours in the entire continent. Many dock workers were loading or unloading the containers. Work never stopped here. The door opened. Simon, Mikhail and Edith entered. So Edith is chairman of the CBS. He's the co-chairman and he's Ministry of the Economy. Okay. Mr. President. Mr. President, so nice to see you. Good afternoon, Mr. President. It's good to see you all again. Simon put his bag on the table and started collecting his documents while the others slowly took their seats. Mr. President, before we start, I'd like to mention some rumours that I heard. Vetoing the recent Workers' Rights Act was welcomed by a lot of business owners. The first section about minimum wages would have been very damaging to many corporations. Edith, I heard the same. Good decision, I say, especially during a recession. Exactly. See, I'm a genius. I make these decisions without even realising it. I wanted to sign it, but I had to make the right call. I didn't want to hamper our businesses and their employment drive. You are in no position to evaluate my decision. I don't care about rumours. If someone wants to say something, they can say it to me directly. Yeah, I didn't want... Yeah, let's just say that's what I wanted. Done the right thing. Simon waited patiently. Once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for their work on the tax reform. We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you. He turned to me. Ultimate goal here is to end the recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need you to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we've done so far. We can increase, maintain or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this. In parallel, we can increase, maintain or decrease the taxes for small and medium businesses. Start with the large corporations and then we'll move on to the small businesses. What is the outcome if we increase the taxes for large corporations? Not an option at this point. Our economy is in shambles. Okay. Taking what's remaining from the business will destroy the economy further. We could balance it by decreasing taxes of small businesses to put some release on them. I see. I'm not sure it's a good idea with the current state of our economy. I do believe that there is one way to get out of the recession. It's through the trade and economic contribution of large corporations. Increasing their taxes will turn them on you. I will go a step further. Increasing their taxes will have disastrous results and make an enemy of them. Trust me, Mr. President, no one wants to make an enemy of them. It goes both ways. Yes. Is there any downside to keeping things the way they are? I am of the opinion that if we don't make any changes, nothing will change. To stop the recession, we need to do something. I think so too. Agreed. Alright, so we need to do something. What did we decrease? The government budget will be hit, but in return, due to sheer size of the economic contribution coming from these companies, it should be helpful to curbing the recession. I do think this is definitely a good option if we want to end the recession. However, there is one problem in the status of our budget. This might not be the greatest idea, though it has benefits. You will have to decide if it's worth the risk. I think it's a great idea. Me too. We'd have the money aside on top of solving the recession crisis. They better try to stay on my good side. I have to agree, being that ally would come in handy. I suppose so. What does everyone think we should do? My personal opinion is that we should decrease the tax for large corporations, although in the short term it would cost us. Long term it would be most helpful option in ending the recession. Our international trade is mostly driven by the products of these corporations. They are the backbone of our economy. Exactly. If we let them perform better by decreasing their taxes, this could turn lead to Sordland receiving more investment. It means more capital, which means a quicker way. So are they talking about trickle down? Decrease those taxes, they're just going to keep the money, aren't they? Or are they really going to... They're really going to invest the money, or are they just going to keep it? This is the problem with doing this sort of corporation tax decreases. They go on and we'll perform better, we'll have more money to invest to get more jobs, but then they just don't do it. But, I mean, these are the guys that are my advisors, so ready to make a decision. Okay, so we're going to go... Our budget's going to take a hit. Going to be -1 for a bit, I imagine. Very well, I'm all ears. We increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses. Decrease the taxes for -2. -2, holy shit. Increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses. Maintain the taxes. That won't do anything. They said it won't change anything. Decrease the taxes for large corporations. I suppose what we'll do... I mean... We've increased the budget for the military. We've increased the budget for our internal staff. We've left the budget for education and healthcare the same. We don't have any more money for investment, though we have already done the railway, so that should help. But they're saying if I do this, it will get rid of the recession. I don't know what negatives I have with having a minus in the budget. But hopefully we'll have more money coming in. We have to do something. We have to do something. Let's do it and see what happens. If it all fails, I don't think I'll get deposed because the budget's in deficit. And we'll look at ways to save money. So if I have another option in the future, because what I'm saying is that I think military's fine, internal stuff is fine, healthcare and education, they should be okay. And the media guys won't go after me because we've got an agreement. The judiciary won't go after me because we have an agreement. And the corporations won't go after me because I've given them a tax break. So then it's just finding ways to reduce it. There may be protests, but we can suppress all those. Right, so let's give them a reduction. Let's do something to get out of the recession. Might be the wrong decision, but in times of recession, it's good to borrow money and invest in infrastructure anyway. And we'll get the money in the good times, hopefully. I agree. Thanks to this, the recession will be solved in no time. It better be, because if it isn't, Edith, you're in a lot of trouble. And Simon, you're fired. Edith, you're fired. And Mikhail, you're fired. All of you are fired. Very well then. I've taken a note of our action and put it to the implementation as soon as possible. Simon opened his briefcase and swapped out a stack of papers he had in front with another stack. Oh god, here we go. Let's move on to small and medium businesses. What is the outcome if we increase the taxes for small and medium businesses? They are the backbone of... You've just said the other guys were the backbone of the economy. Oh my goodness. Backbone of the economy, and if they are comprised of mostly... they're comprised of mostly regular people. If we start demanding more money from them in taxes, it might cause the public ill will towards the government. Our budget's in good shape. It's not. It's not. I don't see the need to increase taxes on the cost of popularity. The increased taxes for these smaller corporations is a good way to earn some extra capital so the government can give it back to people in due time. Lower increasing taxes for small and medium business will make people happy with the services the government provides. Simon doesn't want to increase, but the other two do. I don't really... you might be right. You might be right. What if we decrease the taxes? It would be helpful to curbing the recession for sure. Also, it would come at the cost of losing some of our government budget. Okay, so I could have kept the other one, the other budget for the large corporations the same, and then dropped it for this one, for these guys. But come at the cost of losing some government budget. Yeah, of course. It's risky when we have no money left, and we still have loans to pay. Any downside keeping things the way they are? Sordland needs change to get out of the recession, but the current state of the economy is in shambles. There's not much change we can do about taxes. Okay, I'm ready to make a decision. Very well. increase the taxes, maintain the taxes. I think we'll just maintain the taxes. I don't want to lose any more money. I know I just said 5 minutes ago that if I had an opportunity to increase the government budget, I would. What did we decrease? Don't see the need to increase. It's a good way to earn extra capital. Increasing the taxes for small and medium, it would help make people happy with the services the government provides. It would be so sus if I increased the taxes for large corporations. Sorry, if I decreased for large and increased it for the small. So I'm just going to maintain it. We'll keep it the same. Very well. I have taken another note. We'll look into how to go about implementing these changes. Well then, thank you everyone. That's all for today. Good work, everyone. They left the meeting room. I decided to stay a bit longer. I went by the windows again and kept watching the sea in silence for some more time. Alright, how did I screw up this time? I maintained the taxes for small and medium. I decreased the taxes for large corporations. Economy. Tax breaks for private corporations. Offered a lucrative tax break from 35 to 25 to stimulate economic growth. Large corporations creating jobs. Thanks for our tax break, major corporations are opening more positions, providing jobs for Sordland. Consistent economy. Our economic strategy is consistent with the type of development doctrine we are promoting. Tax avoidance. Countries are habit of avoiding taxes in many parts of society. While this is an improvement to the rampant tax evasion before, it's still not a solved issue. Okay. Agland lacks investment. Increased tax for decreased trade volume. Right, what's happening with law? Oppression, unfair electoral voting, media bias, positive order. There's still corruption. Prisons overcrowded. Okay, well, I'm doing my best, everyone. You just got to chill. Oh, what's going on over here? Read the report. Queen Beatrice Livingston calls Sordland a threat to world peace. Well, stop messing around with me. Played on TV to call Sordland not just a threat to peace in Eastern Mokopa, but a threat to peace in the entire world. Also publicly condemned President Anton Rein's new policies, and also expressed her worries about the direction Sordland is heading. She urged the Rungbergian army to secure the southern border, citing violent incidents in northern Sordland. Those incidents are going away. Don't worry, I'm not going to attack you, for goodness sake. Okay, what's going on over there? We'll have a look in a second. What's that about? Visit and inspection of schools. Okay. Going on here. Read the report. The embargo on Arcadia is coming to full effect. The massive convoy of 1,158 trucks accumulated at the Sordland border crossing due to Vangen when the border officials shut the gates. Nearly 80% of Arcadian trade is previously conducted through this area. Meanwhile, 4,507 Arcadian citizens were denied entry to the country at customs areas. Massive economic disruptions occurred in the Grunny region. President Walker sent a direct message to the administration highlighting this action was a grave mistake. We shall see. Embargo on Rundberg enacted. It's come into full effect. Thousands of citizens of Rundbergian nationality are being rejected at customs areas for all points of entry. Trade between our two nations has virtually ceased. Trains of cargo are lining up at the border crossing north of Estord with several 100,000 tons of goods unable to cross, deliver on either side of the border. Tensions are rising because oil, coal and gas shipments bound to Rundberg were denied passage by border officials. Rundberg ambassador called the action an act of escalation. Well, you shouldn't be messing with my internal stuff, okay? United Contaminant embargoed. Alright, so the embargo is coming into full effect. Mutual trade has stopped. Travelers with Contaran nationality have been denied entry. Denied cargo ships unloading. Gulf is filled with trade ships that have anchored. They made a condemning declaration calling unilateral actions like this a threat to world peace. Well, you shouldn't have been messing with my internal politics. Should you? Anything else? No? Okay, what's the other thing that's going on here? President Dwight Walker shows full support to Swordist protests. Of course he would. Showing his support for protests that are happening in Sordland and condemn the Swordish government. Okay. Let's go here. Visit and inspection. As part of the planned program, we arrived in Laren to visit a middle school. The prestigious Toran Hill School was situated close to the suburbs, just outside of the city centre. The building was flanked by 2 hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucian, Ciara and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there were at least 10 reporters following us around. That might be the principal. Right this way, sir. The principal was a man of short stature with a bushy moustache and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by security guards. He started patting him down and searching him. Wait for them to finish. I waited for them to finish searching the principal. One of the guards turned to me and nodded. Mr. President, such an honour to meet you. I shake his hand and smile for the cameras. Yes. Reporters instantly snapped a few photos. Welcome to our humble school. It's good to be here. Excellent, you must be Mr. Glade. Pleasure to meet you. And Mr. Welder, so good of you to come all the way. He is the Minister of Education. Thank you. The entrance to school's motto is inscribed on the wall in giant letters. Seriously, you want me to say that? I'm not going to. Education is the premise of progress in all societies, in all families. We walked through the gate. There were many students lined up in front of the stairs in the main building. The school band started playing as we entered. All the students immediately snapped your attention and turned to me. Looks more like a military institution than a school. Exactly. That's what we pride ourselves on. Discipline has the utmost importance in our school. Very good. Yes. Sienna frowned and shook her head. Glad you liked it, Mr. President. Now we will watch the students take their daily student oath. A boy and a girl went up to the stage and grabbed their microphones. The students turned to them. I am a sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect our honourable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Sordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the gliding light of Colonel Sol and the great swords. Amorgna, Vescor, Vectum, Sister. Clap loudly. Yes. I started clapping loudly. Everyone joined. Words to remember. What? No one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish to follow me, we will take a look at our classrooms. Through the hallways, we made our way to classroom 7A, and as soon as they entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped your attention. At ease. Jeez. Sit down, please. It's all fine. Students sat down. The same girl and boy walked up to us. They're the top students in our top class. This here is my son. The boy came before me and saluted me like a military officer. Tell Mr. President what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I'm ready to sacrifice myself for my country and for you, sir. Good, that's what I like. This is nonsense. What are you teaching these students? You will make a fine soldier in the future. At ease, General. I will do whatever I can to not... Okay, yeah, if you want to be a general, it's fine. Thank you, sir. Principal squeezed his son's shoulder and the boy looked up and smiled at his father. He patted him on the back and sent him off to his seat. The cameras flashed. This is simply ridiculous. You are raising soldiers here, not students. I'm so sorry. I will immediately perform disciplinary actions. What about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She's our top student in the school. Her excellent grades are to... Didn't ask you. She bent down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school, just between us girls? I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take these stupid handcraft classes? Shh! Do you know who you are talking? Shut up and let us speak. Ciara's presence had emboldened the girl. She went on. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the classes I want because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. Good, Mr. Principal, you would make the necessary changes at once. But knitting and sewing are important skills to have for a woman. We need more people like you in this country. I implored your determination. Yes, I do. I need more than words. We need action. Concrete action, meaning to protect girls like this. Cameras flashed once again. I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonel Sol. Don't say anything. Well then, unfortunately we are almost out of time. We'll have other meetings to attend today. Thank you for the warm welcome. Mr. President, Lucian, please go ahead. I would like to speak to the girl alone. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. Come on, class. 1, 2. All the students in the classroom yelled, but the boy I met was the loudest. Almogna Vescor. Vectum Dista. After another round of photos, we departed. Now what? Code sent you Dennis. I don't know who that is. Suppose I could look it up, but I'm not going to. What else do we have here? Anything? I need to read all the news. What's going on here? Briefing on the proposal of education reform. Alright, we're not going to do that then. Not yet. I want to privatize it. Right, let's read the news. Well, -2 budget. Holy shit. Alright. We'll find we'll figure something out. Don't panic. Geopolitical. Smolak threatens new military incursions at targeting BFF. Threatens to launch military operations in northern Verland, close to the borders of Sordland and Lesbia, against the Bluedish rebel group, the BFF. Yeah. In a television interview to encourage support for next month's referendum to extend his presidential powers, Smolak announced that the military is preparing a new internal operation with possible cross-border implications against the BFF. Observers point out tough stance against the BFF, which is fighting for minority rights, plays well with Wessex nationalists. Smolak has pledged to eradicate the Bluedish groups in Welland, the Democracy Party of Welland, and the militant organisation, the Bluedish Freedom Front. Such operations afford military risk and possibility of further exacerbating already intense relations amongst neighbours. Well, we're doing the same thing, so I'm fine with it. Despite risks, some analysts don't rule out such a military operation. Well, as long as they don't cross the border. Economist, tax cuts for large corporation on its way. According to the information we received, the administration has decided to decrease taxes for large corporations by 10% to a total of 25%. This comes as part of tax reforms to stop the recession. Surely we're welcomed by many large business owners, and we believe this is a really good move to curb the effects of the recession. After all, large corporations bring in more money into Sordland, and the reason the recession is not worse than it already is. This decision will benefit Sordland in the long run. I hope so. President visits school. One of the 5 most prestigious schools in East Sordland welcomed the special visitors on Thursday. President Rain expressed his wish to visit the successful Torren Hill School and spent the morning talking with staff and students. Yep. Was there another one? Assembly talks about the prayer language. Proposed the Sordish Prayer Language Act to the Assembly. Proposed bill aims to standardise the language of the prayer into Sordish in the entire Sordland. Prayer language has always been a controversial topic, as most of the religious ceremonies in the Bergia region, where most of the Bluedish population resides, conduct their prayers in Bluedish. I don't think we need to do that. Don't really want to do that. What else is going on? Communist Party leader was arrested. Communist Party of Sordland has been detained along with 10 other members because of their reluctance to give testimony for crimes linked to terrorist propaganda. Council leader known as the Swordist Hegel by some members has been targeted several earlier investigations, but this is the first time he's been detained. Yeah, they were supporting the Red Youth Organisation. Member of the Assembly arrested. Mikhail Mussolina, MP for the National Front Party, was arrested for supporting Young Swords. Yep, at least 2 other NFP members were also detained. Raids took place against a backdrop of rising criticism of the government's purge, which also saw the issuing of arrest warrants against 2 editors. Lockdown in Dea. Saw many protests against the government and violent incidents occurring in major cities. Flags of both banned parties, namely Workers' Party and the Bluish Freedom Party, were seen everywhere in the city. Several weaponized militants hiding among the crowd. Gunshot was fired at the right police. Additional police forces, as well as a group of police forces, were sent to Dyer to control the situation. Wow, 6 deaths, 250 wounded. Need to stop what they're doing. Torn Hill wins award. They excelled. Okay. Well, that's why I visited them, I guess. Radical. Okay, what's going on in Dyer? Okay, so it's not about me. That's fine. Dyer's been sealed off. Where is it? That's in... It's over where? No, I can't move that window. Oh, it's here. Yeah, this is the Bluish area from what I remember. Okay. Sealed off after the unlawful arrest. No, he's a criminal. When you're watching the city without knowing what's going on inside, civilian casualties have been reported. Working for the patients during the successful operation against terrorism. It's coming violent, hostile. We'll see whether I want to withdraw that emergency decree. We'll see whether the situation has sorted itself out. But this will be the end of this episode. So we spent a lot of money. We're trying to claw it back over the next few turns, I guess. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.